What up, though? Boy Willie Styles in the building. Chevy, you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today?
All right. So we are in the building. It is Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. And we are back for another Styles and Chevy recap. We're going to be talking about Marvel's Spider-Man 3, No Way Home. And first things first, the movie was only recently dethroned as the number one movie in America
By Scream.
by Scream, right?
Yeah.
But then it was number one again yesterday. So,
It was so good though. Scream was so good though.
oh, okay. I haven't seen Scream. I haven't watched a Scream movie since like Scream 3, I think. So,
Well, that's probably why.
yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't go see Scream 4 because everybody was so excited about it because it was shot here. Like
Oh,
everybody went to go see it from here because it was shot here and people knew people who was in it. The news
really?
anchors from Detroit and Michigan surrounding areas was here. They shot a lot of the movie in like some of the suburbs and stuff like that. So everybody from here went. Everybody was super excited about it.
Nobody
And
told.
Scream 3 4 is good.
Nobody told me. They didn't tell me
I
nothing.
almost had an opportunity to be in that movie. Like I took a nap though. I had been waiting on the email
But you
all
say you took a nap. You took a nap and missed the movie.
I
You
took a
missed
nap
the.
and mixed the email to be in the movie because that's when I
Oh,
was doing extra work and I
wow.
cried. I cried because it was a
Oh,
dream of mine to be on a Wes Craven set. And when Wes Craven died, I cried again because I was like, I'll never be
ooh,
able to be on a Wes
right.
Craven set.
I
And
forgot
so,
about that. Yeah.
yeah, so when I met Nev Campbell, we got to talking about here and shooting here and we was talking for so long I had to say, well, I'm loving talking to you, but your line is long as hell now and I don't want to keep you here. I know you got to make your money and do your thing, but she's
Right.
really nice. She's a really nice person.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah. I think I missed the Scream 4 hype because I definitely did not know it was shot. Anything was shot here, nor did I know that that was a thing. So
Oh yeah, no, it's a big deal. And I'm a huge, I'm a horror person, but I'm also a big screen person. I had my t-shirt on. I was ready. I had my Ghostface t-shirt. I was so excited. I was
right,
so
right.
excited. It was like 8 of us. It was a time. Every
Okay.
time I went to see Scream, that when I saw Scream 2 in the movie theater. I saw Scream 4 in the movie theater. I saw Scream 1 at my daddy's house. We rented it. Scream 3, we just not gonna talk about that.
I was when Scream first came out. Like I was there. I was at the theater for Scream 1, Scream 2. I definitely saw that in the theater. I can't remember if I seen Scream 3 at the theater or if it was at like a
You know
video
what?
on video. I feel like it
Reggie,
was on video.
Reggie took us to go see Scream 2 at the movie theater that used to be on Grand River.
Oh, the
Uh,
Norwest.
yes, he took us to see that, and I had to use the bathroom right at the part where, right after when the dude got stabbed in the ear in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Are you serious? Why did you go in? Why did you go in? Not like
Because I had to use it. We got there early, and I was drinking the little
and of
coffee.
all
I was
places, the
a
dude is at the
kid.
Norwest,
I was
where
a
it's super
kid.
sketch.
I ran to that bathroom so fast and I used the bathroom so fast. I was so scared and I ran all the way back.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, that theater was mad sketch. So
Yeah, man. I done seen a many of movies in there.
yeah, me too. Me too.
Because we
I
could
grew up.
walk.
I grew up over there, so
Yeah, we could
it
walk.
wasn't walking distance, but it was close enough. It was close enough. I mean, even though I did walk one time in the snow and
Oh
freezing
no.
rain
Oh
because there was
wow.
no buses, but it was it was one of those things. But let's get back on track. We got
I'm sorry. I'm
our
sorry. We
Marvel's
started talking about
Spider-Man.
Scream and I got excited.
No, no, believe me, I feel you. See, like I said, that was what I was about to say. That's the thing is I'm not a big horror movie person, so that's another reason I probably missed it because I like the Scream boat sailed on me a long time ago. I was I think I might have been a teenager already when Scream 1 came out, so yes, I got that a little bit on you. So.
Yeah. I get it.
But yeah, so but yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home was, I think it was 33 days straight, or was it 20? No, I take that back. It was 20, I think 6 days straight or 27 days straight, number one in the movie theaters. It's already eclipsed the $1 billion mark, or $1.6 billion mark, as of now, as worldwide, as well as I believe it's just over 700 or 800 million in the box office here, which I'm sure has Scarlett Johansson punch in the air. And
why you say that?
because like what could have been, right? What should have been, really.
She did.
Who?
Oh, she think her movie wouldn't have made that much money. I love her.
I feel like it would have did $1 billion. I feel like it would have did $1 billion worldwide. I think it would have did.
No.
It could have happened.
I don't think so.
I mean, not then, of course, but
no, I don't think it could happen now.
No,
I don't think it could happen next summer.
I mean, even Eternals hit $1 billion. So,
but how long did it take?
It took them forever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't 20-something days like Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man did it in like 15, 20 days, something like that.
And I have to feel like it was in the top by week 2. It was at number 12 in most
of all
grossing
time
box office films. Where does it? Do you know where it falls on the list now? Because the last time I checked, it was at number 10.
Let's see, Spider-Man: No Way Home. It is the. Let's see here, all time. Spider-Man is number 4 all time.
So that's under Endgame, Infinity War, and Avatar.
And right? Avatar. It's Star Wars 7, Avengers Endgame, Avatar, and then Spider-Man No Way Home, then Black Panther. So for top 5 of all time.
It killed it.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Blackwood, and I'll say the reason why I love Scarlett Johansson. I thought that movie was great. Florence Pugh did amazing. Everyone did amazing. My girl Rachel Weisz was coming back to her action movie days, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Reason why that movie wouldn't have done as good, even though she's Avenger, even though her character died, is because it's a movie about women. And I think that comic book fans have an affinity for women. They don't resonate with the characters.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't think the movie would have done well. And it would have took just as long as the Eternals to hit a bill.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that getting that kind of momentum for a movie like that would have been tough. Okay, so I was wrong. The worldwide for Eternals is only 401 million.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how they hit $1 billion. Most people don't even like that movie enough. Word of mouth killed that.
Yeah, it was. You said what was that?
Word of mouth killed that.
Yeah, word of mouth definitely killed that. It was. It's number 324 for all time, where Scarlett Johansson's movie is at 252.
You know what they should do? They should just re-release it in theaters.
Yeah, I think so too. I think both of those should be re-released to see how they do. For real.
Because I go back and see that in the movie theater.
Yeah, I would too. I would definitely, because I enjoyed it at home, but I definitely would love to see it in the theater. I actually feel bad that I didn't go to the theater the first time because I thought it was so good. But yeah, the Black Widow is number 252, and Eternals is 350 or 324. So yeah, so it actually did better than Eternals.
Well, definitely, because everybody hated Eternals.
Yeah, which is crazy because I thought Eternals was awesome.
Because it came on this week, and last week, and people still, I hate the Eternals. It's terrible. So I mean, it's still getting bad press. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Which I think is not warranted. But we can talk about that maybe later on. Maybe later on this show we'll talk about that.
But what I will say is about the box office numbers for Spider-Man is I finally understood how those numbers are created when I sat down and thought about it. So the Marvel fans went first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They probably took, like, my daddy always go see the movies with us. Somebody might tag, like my brother Damon, he ain't into it, but he'll tag along. They see this movie and they say, wow, that was a really good movie. Like really, really good. And I don't even know what the hell is going on. And then they go home and say, what you do last night? I saw Spider-Man. And you know what? It was really good. Like it was really, really good.
Right.
So these numbers are created through word of mouth.
Yeah, indeed. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Because everybody went to go see it. Like how everybody went to go see Black Panther. Everybody, grandma, uncle, cousin, brother, sister. After that first weekend, when all the Marvel fans went and made them numbers go up,
Yeah.
it was mom and pops with gray hair going to see that movie because somebody said, no, it's really good. Y'all should go see it because y'all would like it too.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Now, what's really interesting about this though is that there's no release in China, and the very low opening numbers in Japan, South Korea, stuff like that, like in Asia Pacific, and it still has blown out so many country or so many movies with that kind of opening. You know, that's crazy because generally the movies nowadays in the last, I believe it's the last 5 or 10 years, have heavily relied on worldwide numbers coming from that Asia Pacific market, you know, and the fact that there's this love-hate relationship between Marvel and China, Marvel and some of the other, they've done well with some of the movies that have been allowed to release, like Black Panther, like Avengers Endgame, like Infinity War. But a movie like Eternals, which would have probably done much better had it been released in Asia Pacific countries, would have been able to eclipse bigger numbers. But this movie didn't have to rely on that. What was that?
But then they boycotted over there?
Yeah, they boycotted Eternals because of the director. I don't know what happened with Spider-Man. I don't know why Spider-Man didn't get released over there. But
what's up with the director?
The director of Eternals?
Yeah.
She had some bad things to say about the
stuff they got going on
the
over
government. There. Yeah, and so so they were like, nope. You know, they heavily scrutinize all media.
Yeah.
You know, so but then there was was it the director or one of the stars? It might have been one of the stars. I might be twisted because who directed Shang-Chi?
Let me look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember, but the because I know Shang-Chi had a lot of problems too because of Simu Liu.
Yeah,
he was like it was the director of Eternals that the Chinese had a problem with.
Dustin Daniel Cretton.
Oh, okay. So it is the Eternals director then that would have been the problem. Yeah, Chloe Zhao. Yeah, Chloe Zhao. She was the one. Yeah, she had some disparaging remarks. I wouldn't even call them disparaging, but you know the Chinese government, their choice, their interpretation. They felt that her criticism of some of the things that were happening over there was a criticism of their government, and so thus they banned her film from being shown over there. So yeah, I think they did eventually get a limited release, but I don't think it was a wide release. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, enough about the numbers. Let's talk about the best movie that's ever dropped for a Spider-Man flick in years. Some people say ever. So Spider-Man No Way Home, from a spoiler-free review, what did you think of Spider-Man No Way Home, and what did you rate it?
It was good, but it was sad.
Yeah.
I definitely was left feeling very sad. But it was really good. I will never watch it again, probably.
If you did only watch it the one time and was done with it?
Any Marvel movie that has resonated with me emotionally will never be watched by me again in my life. Probably. If I cried crocodile tears while watching it, I'm not watching it again.
Got you.
I'm giving it a 10. Now I don't care what nobody got to say.
Right, indeed. So in contrast, I did find it sad in parts, but also found it to be very action-packed, very lively, so more uplifting to me in that regard. And I did come away with some emotional parts, some funny part, a lot of funny parts.
Oh yeah, movie was funny.
Some big surprises. And then a few days later, I went and saw it again. So I saw it twice in like a 1 week period. In the second watch, I did not feel any of the emotion, which was in total contrast to both Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, I'm about to say Spider-Man, in contrast to, I think it was Civil War, which was just only a couple of moments of emotion, the excitement as well as Avengers,
Endgame,
Infinity War, and Endgame. Infinity War was that shock and awe, right? Which surprised me, because even though I knew going into the second watch of Infinity War what was about to happen, it was still shocking. You know what I mean? It was still like that, oh my God feeling. You know what I mean? Especially because I saw it twice or three times before we got the chance to see Endgame. So watching what happened the second time around was still shocking to me in Infinity War. The end of Endgame always brings about emotions, between the shock and excitement of the last battle to the deaths in it. Except for Black Widow, I never felt, because I felt Black Widow's death was so manufactured. It never hit for me. Never hit.
How can it hit when you don't know the person? You don't know nothing about the person. How can you feel?
I feel like I knew her, but
I mean, you knew what you knew from the comic books. You didn't know
you know
what
it
you
was.
knew
I think too for Black Widow. I think what it was it wasn't a. It was like the build up to it wasn't there. You know what I mean? It was, they kept going that back and forth. Like, I think if either one of them would have died, I would have both. No matter if it would have been Clint or her, I would have just been like,
because
darn.
we had no connection to those characters.
Yeah,
they were throwaway characters. We learned more about Natasha in Black Widow.
I debunked that, because at the end of Black Widow, that was sad to me.
Yes, that was sad. And she had on the vest that she had on.
Going into Endgame. Exactly. So going into Infinity War. Exactly. So
that's where we learned who she was.
Yeah, but no, I feel like it was, I feel like it was because I knew this was really the end.
Oh yeah, and that too.
So no, that's what I'm saying. I think that what didn't hit for me in Endgame was the fact that they were both fighting to die. And so because one of them finally did, it was like, okay, so what? And then I also, in my mind, looking at that happening, all I'm thinking is they're just going to bring them back anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally thought that they were going to bring Natasha back at the end of the movie.
What bothers me about that is they could have.
Yeah, exactly.
And see, that's something about that movie that made me angry. It made me angry that they sent them to there. So we know one of them is going to die. That's bullshit, because we don't know these characters. Yeah. That's number one for me. Number two is, I ain't never liked Captain America, okay?
Right.
I think he wrong for not telling Tony Stark about Bucky. I think
no doubt.
He is not the hero that people make him out to be. That's just how I feel about him. That's how I'm always going to feel about him. I don't care what nobody got to say. And where it showed to me was when he could have went and saved her and had his life, he chose to choose himself. Now we can look at it and say, oh, well, he sacrificed so much. But for every sacrifice he made, he kept secrets as well. Yeah. He did for himself as well. Y'all just didn't know it. Because if y'all knew what he was doing, y'all wouldn't look at him as the Captain America.
Right.
That pissed me off too. So in the midst of all of these emotions, Tony Stark is my favorite Avenger. So I'm messed up, but I'm also looking at all this stuff and saying, I don't like this. She was a throwaway character. And how you can have somebody in movies for 10 years and throw them away?
Well, and that was my thing, is that I've been watching her in these movies for 9-10 years. So I felt like I had a connection to her. I felt like it was enough of a connection, because when I watched in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., when I watched Coulson die, the second
Oh,
time.
well, Coulson was the man.
The first time I give you
that a second time.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh, my bad. I thought you knew.
no. Damn.
We didn't know about this. This
No.
was a spoiler. Oh, my bad.
He died for real.
Well,
Robot Coulson.
maybe I shouldn't spoil that for you, but
yeah, Robot Coulson died for real.
So yeah, so when he died the first time, it was like, darn, that's messed up. When he died the second time, I'm like, oh shoot, oh my god, like it was shocking. It wasn't shocking because there was some buildup, but it was like I was shocked that they let it happen. When he died the third time, I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect it to happen, so I throw it off.
I think I remember him dying a second time.
Now the fourth time, I was like, this is bullshit. I need y'all to make a decision. Is this man dead or not? Like,
that's some Xena stuff right there, or some Buffy stuff.
Yeah. So the double spoiler for you. That man came back 4-5 times. So.
Yeah, that's some Xena, Buffy the Vampire Slayer stuff. That's TV stuff, though.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all over the place. But when it came down to watching a second time, the emotions did not really hit for me in Spider-Man No Way Home the second time around. There was a couple of emotions, like there was one scene where we thought somebody was about to die or get hurt, but it didn't happen. But we was like, oh my god, like if that would have happened, we would have been crying for real. But it didn't happen. I got that same anxiety. That same anxiety hit me, like, oh my god, watching it the second time.
It reminded me, that movie, Amazing Spider-Man 2, traumatized me. And because the death scene was so horrific in a way because of how hard she hit the ground and popped back up and hit the ground again. It was very traumatic for everybody. I remember everybody, when the movie was over, everybody just kind of sat there for a minute. It kind of was just like, wow.
Right.
And as people walked out of the movie theater, people, sometimes they get up and they walk out fast. Sometimes they get up and walk out slow because they have to decompress from the film. And I don't think I feel like that messed that film up, and the blue stuff going on with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
But that movie was decent to me until that happened. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was too traumatic the way they depicted that.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely caused trauma in fans because in certain scenes in Spider-Man No Way From Home, I just couldn't stop crying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that was one of those scenes that, that second time around, I was like, oh my god, like, oh my god. Okay, I know this isn't going to happen, but still, there's a lot. But like you said, there was the other scene that was like the most tragic, and I was definitely brought to tears the first time around. The second time, not so much.
Okay, I'll say, I'm gonna ask you this. For the longest time, watching Spider-Man, not the longest because he ain't been in the MCU that long,
right?
But I kept saying, wow, he is really blessed. Now, this is a blessed Spider-Man. Oh, he is blessed. He got a scholarship. His auntie's still alive. He got Tony Stark backing him. Man, maybe his life is going to be good. Right. I just kept saying that. Do you feel like the second time watching it, it was kind of like, this movie was great, but this is what happens to the Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the curse of being Spider-Man. Yes, yeah. It was definitely like, I felt the same way. Let's go ahead and go into the spoiler recap. Oh, and by the way, my rating was also a 10 out of 10. I definitely gave it a 10 out of 10. So
now we can say whatever we want to say.
Now we can say whatever we want to say. If you have not watched Spider-Man No Way Home, go watch it. It's in theaters. It's number one. It's still number one, even though it got beaten over the weekend. It's back to number one again on a daily basis. So definitely go check that out. It's about to be number 3 in a minute of all time. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. But yeah, so when it came down to how I felt about basically, like you just said, the curse of being Spider-Man, what I didn't realize was that early on in the, I think it was in the original, not the original, but the first installment of Spider-Man. What was it called?
Tony?
Homecoming, right?
Oh, you talking about his? We still okay?
Yeah. So Spider-Man Homecoming didn't make it clear what happened to Uncle Ben, right?
Right.
And then also didn't.
They broke up.
I want to say that's what it was, but it was like it wasn't clear, right? It wasn't like something that was like, I mean, it was. I won't say it wasn't clear. It wasn't like promoting, right? It wasn't like, oh, this is what happened and this is how it went down. And then, hey, Sonny. So when it came down to looking back at it, like, oh wow, wait a minute, like he didn't go through the death of Uncle Ben like the other Spider-Man did. He didn't go through the I gotta work every day and be Spider-Man and try to figure out, like, he was still a kid. He was really our traditional comic book Spider-Man, right?
He was our most childish Spider-Man.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
Which made him prolong his growth. I mean, it was like his growth was prolonged. So when he was making these decisions in this movie, you looking at him because he's a young man. He like 17, going on 18.
Right.
But he's still making these decisions. Well, keep in mind, he actually younger than we think because he was gone for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So his growth was stunted by the snap anyway.
By the snap and the blip.
But you can tell that out of all the Spider-Man, he ain't really lived through nothing that directly affects his life personally, other than the loss of Tony Stark.
Right, exactly. And on top of the fact of his real crime fighting was always with the Avengers. He did a few things before he got with Tony, just enough to catch Tony's attention. But past that, he was basically, he was never really the neighborhood friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He was an Avenger like day 3. He's 1 week into the job, and they're like, "You want to join the Avengers?" And he's like, "Sure, hell yeah!"
Right.
So I think that, yeah, you're right. He didn't have to go through as much as them. He didn't have to go through the growing pains of being Spider-Man as much as they did. I mean, we didn't get a chance to see his initial transformation. We didn't get a chance to see his initial, movement or growth into the role of Spider-Man. But we also got to think about the fact that he's also the most strongest Spider-Man we've ever had. The most durable.
They be getting their ass whooped.
Yeah, exactly. And he was Avenger level powers, right?
Yeah.
So he was able to fight other Avengers. He was able to withstand things that other Spider-Man hadn't been able to withstand in all that time. So we were seeing a Spider-Man that was on a whole different level, but also a kid who couldn't make good decisions.
But we also had. But I'm gonna say this though. Was he on a whole nother level? Or did he just have less fights? Because in his movies, he got his ass whooped. Every single time. That first movie, he got his ass whooped near death.
Yeah.
In the second movie, I believe he almost got his ass whooped near death as well. Well, no. Yes.
No. He was basically incoherent. Like he couldn't see what was going on. He didn't know.
But he was fighting drones and magic. So, exactly. But he didn't get hit by a train.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. They threw him in the in the tunnel, and he gets hit.
In the dream world. And
but he was. But you gotta think. I think that would have killed Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, well, Sam Raimi would have done a kill death.
Exactly. Now I forgot what's the name. Amazing Spider-Man was in high school when we met him.
But he worked at the lab.
But he was also wasn't he like a senior or something going into college at that time?
He was either a junior or a senior, but he did have a scholarship at the lab.
Right.
And he did have to do that job after school.
Yeah.
His auntie was older, wasn't she?
Right. Yeah.
She really couldn't go make no money.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ben was old too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had to go make the money. Peter now I sound like his best friend.
Right.
Peter Parker.
I know, right? Peter Parker. I mean, not you, Peter.
Tom Holland's auntie was young. She had her own business. Yep. She had a homeless shelter, so she had a 501c3, so she could make that money work for her, if you feel me.
Yep.
She got money from organizations all over the city, so his life was a little bit different. Like, and I just kept saying, like, when are they gonna drop the hammer on this kid, man? You know, and I kept thinking, well, the hammer has been dropped. He got snapped for 5 years. Tony Stark is dead. He has had the hammer drop.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too at first. But like you said, I was like, but he really didn't have that personal outside of Tony Stark. He didn't have that personal effect like the other Spider-Man. And yeah, they literally put him through it. They put him through it.
I feel like out of all the Spider-Mans, his situation is the saddest.
Yeah, I think so too, because he wasn't prepared for this at all. With that dream world of everything's okay. I can get through anything. I've saved the universe. I've done this, and we've gone through that. I'm part of the Avengers, and all everything's going to just be, I can fix it. And and it was just like, no, bro, you can't fix it. You can't fix this. This is it. Dame said that part of not witnessing a fourth story of how he became Spider-Man was done well. Yeah, it was done. I think it was like, but I think part of that was like, we didn't need another Spider-Man origin story.
No, we got it in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, and Spider-Verse.
Exactly. So we had more than enough Spider-Man origin. This is another example of where DC goes wrong. DC they got to continuously give us these origin stories that nobody needs, nobody asks for.
You know what I think they're gonna do in the new one? Though instead of showing us the origin story, I think he's gonna have dreams about it at night, and he's gonna wake up in a cold sweat, and we're gonna see it in his dreams.
I'm punching somebody in the face. Literally punching somebody in the face. But yeah, so I think that like you said, that it's been one of those things where we got to see this final reckoning for him.
I mean, this was truly his coming of age story.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
This was his coming of age story.
Yeah,
I thought
the pure sadness of what happens at the end with him having to give up being Peter Parker, or even having no one remember who Peter Parker is.
He had no one.
Which means that he has exactly no one in his life. That's right there. It's sad in itself.
Oh my God, it's so depressing. Like every time I talk to Spider-Man about Spider-Man with people, I used to be like, damn, nobody know who he is. Like, that's what my takeaway from that movie was. Right. It was funny. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, Willem Dafoe was whooping his ass at 6 years old.
Willem Dafoe was killing it. Shouts out to Willem Dafoe, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
But that movie was sad. And I don't care how many times I talk to my Marvel group about it. I don't care how many times me and Devin talk about it. At the end of the conversation, we just look at each other and be like, damn, he don't have nobody. At least Toby got MJ.
Yeah.
At least Andrew has Aunt May. She's still alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He has a few friends.
Yeah.
So does Toby. But Peter, Tom.
Right, Tom Holland
has no one.
Has nobody. Literally nobody.
Kid.
The nice thing is now he gets to take a chill, become the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and hopefully, reestablish himself, hopefully figure out, how to really be his own Spider-Man, but also without the help and aid of the Avengers, without having to get involved in Avenger level threats, as well as, I think that it does beg the question of, will the Avengers still have this now incomplete memory of him? Like, they know who Spider-Man is.
Dr. Strange said he won't even remember him, so nobody will remember him. Okay. None of them are going to remember him.
Yeah.
As Peter Parker, they'll know who Spider-Man is, but they will not know who Peter Parker is.
Right, exactly.
So when he take their mask off in front of him, in front of them, he gonna know who all of they are, but he gonna have to say, "I'm Peter Parker."
It's like explain himself. Explain yourself, young man.
And at the grave with Happy, and he was like, "How do you know her?" I'm telling you,
I know, right?
after I just crying the rest of the damn movie. Everything was just making me cry. He couldn't go to, he didn't even graduate high school.
I know he got to take that GED. When I saw that GED book, that's when it was real for me. When I saw the GED book, I was like, "Oh shoot, he really has like no identity. He like literally has no identity."
Like, damn. Ooh,
so yeah, but
much.
let's go back to the beginning. We had some great surprises in that. One was Matt Murdock showed up during the basically the public trial and outing of Spider-Man. Matt Murdock shows up to be his attorney. Dame said Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe was depressing when you put it against the others. It was.
It was definitely dark and depressing, and I think that's why those films didn't do well, because the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans were catered to children.
Mm-hmm.
So when the kids went to go see that movie, they were sitting there like we were sitting there like, "Mommy, did Gwen Stacy just die?"
Exactly. Right.
Horrifically.
Right.
Like
the horror.
Man, I've been talking about that with my friends for years. I don't care how many Spider-Man movies that came out, how many Marvel movies. We still be talking about that movie like, do you believe they did that?
Right.
I can't believe they did that.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, that it was straight from the comics, but it was like, damn, did y'all really have to make it straight from the comics?
Yeah, somebody told me that, and they was like, but yeah, it was still rough, like, to watch. It's kind of like Glenn in Walking Dead. Like, yeah, I pulled up that comic. That's how his face looked. But damn, did y'all have to do that? Like,
did y'all have to really do it? Right? Did y'all really have to do that? Y'all really had to do that.
Damn, y'all really wanted to be authentic.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What people realize in those moments is a lot of sometimes that stuff does not translate well when you have to sit there and endure it. You can read it fast and move past it. But when you have to sit there, I've never really heard too many people who've watched something that was taken from a comic book and done exactly horrifically as it was supposed to be done. And they were able to be like, "Oh man, yeah, that was it right there." They always be like, "We asked for it, but geez."
Right, exactly. Like, yeah. I mean, but it's rare that they get it right? It's rare that they get it right. So, so when it's that shock factor, You be like, wow, y'all really did what y'all was supposed to do,
but damn, I never thought about how it would look if I had to sit here and watch
exactly. Have to watch it. Exactly. But yeah, so the other thing that I was after the one thing I didn't like after that though was how quickly they moved past that part of it, right?
Yeah, because I walked in the theater at that part, and I was like, did I miss something? Because I literally walked in when they were finding out about everything, and I was like, damn, did I miss something?
Right.
Wait a minute, did I miss something? Why is this happening so fast? Y'all put him, Charlie Cox, in this movie for 5 minutes. What the hell is going on?
95 minutes. It was literally like 90 seconds.
Yeah, I was confused that first part of the movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was pretty like in a whirlwind.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Yeah, and that's what it was. Because I walked in on the very beginning as well. When the first time I watched it, the second time I got there before it started and found out that I didn't miss anything at all, like literally at all. Because I walked in on the part where they were like, basically, it was J. Jonah Jameson talking about the situation with Mysterio. And so the second time when I watched it, I was like, oh, wow. Like I literally walked in at the very beginning. And like you said, the part where Tony shows or Daredevil shows up, it was literally like 90 seconds. He talked to them, talked about getting a good attorney or having a good attorney for Happy and them. And then he caught the brick, and Spider-Man's like, or Tom Holland's like, how did you do that? And he's like, "You're really good attorney."
He's like, we'll talk later, kid.
Right.
But I won't remember you, so you're gonna have to tell me who you
are. Dame said at the beginning when Peter was talking to Bed, I don't know if he meant somebody else on top of the bridge.
Ned,
my natural favorite, Ned. Two best friends saying,
talking about Ned.
Oh, Ned. Okay. So yeah, the interactions between them at the beginning, between him and MJ, as well as Ned, showing up at the most inopportune times. Those are always pretty good, pretty light comedy. I think they did a way better job with Zendaya's character this time around. I always heard a lot of complaints about her character.
I mean, she was less aloof.
Yeah, exactly. Way less aloof.
More human.
Way more human, right? I think we saw a little bit of that in the last movie, but not as much as we still would have liked. So she was much better in this movie. This was the Zendaya we needed in like Dune, and
she only had 5 lines.
I know exactly.
Well, that's she was only in there for 5 minutes.
That's why she sucked in that one too.
But it was like sucked the damn.
That's what the film sucked. Yeah, the film sucked. But that was what we needed. We needed that. That's what everybody was there for.
I think it was definitely needed for this movie because Zendaya is a good actress. I don't care what anybody has to say. Okay. But she is also a young actress. So the Zendaya from Spider-Man, the first one, Tom Holland, first one, to now has taken on different roles in other things that has taught her how to add to that character as well.
Right.
And bring out the emotions necessary. And it was really important that all of them stepped their game up for this movie because of the stakes of what he was going to lose.
Now, this is my thing. I actually thought she was perfect in part 1. I thought, even though it wasn't a lot, and even though it was, I would say, a medium level performance, I felt like it was a good medium level performance because of what she was supposed to be representing. She's supposed to be representing this aloof, teenage angst-filled character.
Pay no attention to nothing but what they do, but they actually watching everything and they see everything.
Exactly. And I thought she pulled that off. I thought she really pulled that off because her traditional characters, especially her Disney characters, are always over the top. So I watched her grow up acting, and watching her in a more reserved, more calm role was a change for me. And I was like, wow, she pulled it off. I was actually shocked and surprised. So, but in part 2, I did expect her to be more alive, and more present, and like you said, that's what was missing, was her ability to kind of like add to the character, make it more real, like, okay, you're now friends with Spider-Man right now. At the beginning, I think at the very beginning, she didn't know, and then she found out, and then now she knows, and it was still kind of robotic, there wasn't like a lot there. The relationship still wasn't there, and I think that with her already having this supposed crush on him from the first movie, it wasn't translating very well in the second movie. But this time, it looked more, way more realistic. They were more, the chemistry was there.
But they also were in a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that helps.
Even as unrealistic as that Peter Parker being in a relationship scene, it was dope watching her twist it around and be like, you know what? He may be weird, but this is my man, So,
but not only that them being in a real relationship in life is probably what helped with that as well.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, so it was it was good watching that evolution. Ned was good as usual. I always felt that he was a great character, a great actor playing him as well.
Hate that damn wig. I just hate the wig.
Oh, I didn't notice the wig until I think the very end. I didn't really notice it. I was just like, oh wait, something's going on here. Like, and then I found out. Then I realized like, oh yeah, this boy's been bald for like the last whatever number of months. So, but I thought that I thought his performance was great. Doctor Strange, did not expect the interactions that him and Tom Holland had. Did not expect the fight. The fight was dope.
Oh yeah, that fight was dope. Let me tell you.
That fight was beyond dope. It was like, especially in the part where when he gets outside of the sanctum and he pushes him out of his body, and then the spider sense takes over and is still moving out the way, and he's the first person to ever put himself back in his own body.
Because he a spider. And that just, I'm scared of spiders in real life. So that pissed me off because it's like, damn, spiders, they so adaptable. They just adapt to any goddamn thing. Oh, just annoy the hell out of me.
And that's the dope part about it too, though, at the same time, because it's like, wow, like he literally adapted to that situation and was able to get out of it. No other, like, Dr. Strange was shocked, like, what the heck? Like, how did you get out of this? Like, how did that work? Like, the Hulk couldn't do it, Dr. Strange couldn't do it. So many people have been put in that position and never been able to one, their bodies were definitely not attached to them or attached to their senses, and then two, they were never able to get out of that situation. I mean, the Hulk walked around for like 20 minutes talking to.
But I think it's like an astonishing thing, and because he has a spider sense, and also he's into science and things of that nature, and he's a kid, he wasn't astonished by it, like where it messed with his brain and made him be like, what the hell is happening? He was like, oh my God, this is happening.
Exactly. Yeah, he was more with it. He was, you're right. He was way more with it. He was way more into it. And he just basically, like you said, he just basically deduced what he needed to do, literally swam back to his body, was like, oh, this is all I need to do. And he knows his body is still protected because his body's got that spider sense. It's natural instinct in his body. Nothing that his subconscious, because that's the beauty of it. That not just proves, but it shows the level that the spider sense works at, and it was a good foreshadowing for the scene later. When he was able to detect the psychological change.
Yes,
that blew my mind. I was like, how your spider sense goes off on a psychological level? Like, you literally detected this man switching over, a chemical imbalance switch over.
My best friend was like, I think he got the best damn spider sense out of all the damn Spider-Man.
Out of all of them. Like, that was crazy dope. So he his level of and then his level of intellect, like Dame was saying.
Oh yeah, he murdered that. So it was funny. We was watching Spider-Man. Like I said, my brother, he go to the movies with us to see these movies, but he not keeping track. Took a shroom before we came. Shrooms illegal in Michigan. Took a shroom before we came. He's sitting there watching the movie. They in the mirror dimension. He's saying, oh my God, I'm tripping. He leaned over to Devin and said, hey, do you see this right now? He said, is the city mirrored for you?
He didn't know it was part of the movie.
Oh no, he was like, yeah, this is Doctor Strange. It's the mirror dimension. He was like, oh, I thought I was about to have to go to the hospital because I thought I was only seeing this.
Terrible.
Funny. It was hilarious. But yeah, that was dope. And I loved how he used math, which I would not have been able to do.
Yeah, me neither at all. And not had pre-calc and calculus. I'd have been like, I'm stuck.
Here's your box, sir.
I know, right? Here you go. It's over. It was over before it started.
I'm throwing in the towel now.
Exactly. So yeah, which is funny to me because I don't think Doctor Strange even realizes what was going on in terms of his ability to do that.
No,
like I would have thought about it like, okay, if you're dealing with a kid who's a math genius or a genius in general, Tony Stark level, more than likely he's going to figure this out once he's in there. But he was just like,
Doctor Strange is arrogant.
Exactly. Yeah, his arrogance got the best of him there.
Yeah, because he just thought, even though he's a smart kid, he's a dumb kid. He's just a dumb kid.
He's just a kid. Exactly. So yeah, so that was dope. Getting out of the mirror dimension, and then starting on that whole journey. Now, I was a little annoyed by the journey of let's save the villains. That was annoying to me.
That pissed me off because no, but as we know, especially if we look at it from a DC standpoint of villains, because in Marvel, I don't think they focus enough on like that aspect of
The actual villain, right?
villains, because our villains are normally in Marvel movies not, especially in the last 10 years, are not your common villains. Like that time we was talking about, the villain was the cousin, the villain was the uncle, the villain was the best friend from around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like in Spider-Man, especially the original like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was in a time where superhero movies were following that DC model, I feel like.
Mhm.
And most of the Batman villains are they suffer from mental illness. That's what they suffer from. That's what they
Right.
have. That's why the Joker is usually not put in jail the first time. He's put into a mental institution. And then
Right.
they realize not only is he got some mental issues going on, but he also is a killer. So
You're
you
right.
put him in the real jailhouse or the real asylum that is for maximum security. You know what I'm saying? But usually those characters in the Batman movie suffer from mental illness. What I never really thought about in those films until they helped Doc Ock was it was a simple fix.
Hmm.
We knew he was going through some things. He was hearing voices. So
Right.
obviously something was wrong. But it kind of made me say, well, damn, maybe they didn't have to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But why they have to come here and tear his life up as
Yeah. True
well
that. True
to
that.
be saved?
Hmm. But I think the difference there is he pulled them, inadvertently pulled them out of those situations where they were able to survive, right? As well as I think the biggest thing with the point you're making is the fact that traditionally Marvel villains are black and white, right?
Hmm.
They're bad. They're either bad or they're not, right? We don't
And
have a lot of gray villains, right? The only gray villains we currently have is Killmonger
Killmonger and Loki.
and Killmonger, Loki, and partially Thanos, right? Because now we have some additional information that makes Thanos' story he's more of a great villain now. But I think that's the thing, is that we traditionally have just these villains that are black and white on paper evil, right? And they're like, you're bad, you got to go down, you're going to jail. Like you said, they don't go to the mental institution, they don't get help, they're not, yeah, the Avenger thing is not to kill people, but they still do their best to bring these people down to justice and throw them in the slammer or put them in on the raft where they're secluded from the whole world and that kind of thing. So I think it's like you said, it's a matter of how are these people being treated from the standpoint of how do they how are they being looked at from
Right,
a hero villain or a villain,
right.
you
Because
know,
everybody has an origin story, whether you the Joker or you
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock or you whomever. They
Mhm.
have origin stories too. And when you think about it, Willem Dafoe's character, Green Goblin, he suffered from multiple personality disorder.
Yep.
He didn't need the suit. That was already there. That
Mhm.
helped him under like rationalize his mental illness.
Right.
Doc Ock was trying to do something good and it turned bad,
Mhm.
which created that in him. Freak
Right.
accident, Jamie Foxx. Freak accident, the Sand
The
guy.
Sandman, yeah.
Who
The
else?
Lizard, though, no,
Nah, he was on
he
some
wanted
other
that.
shit. He
Exactly, he
was
was crazy.
crazy.
So yeah, but like you said, I think that it was that cross between let's help them because they need help versus let's just demonize them because they've been demonized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get you there, but I still felt like it's a losing battle. You're going to send them right
No,
back to where they're
he
going.
should never have done that.
Yeah, no, at
He
all.
should have pressed the button.
Yeah, exactly. Just push the buttons, get this over with. They're going back to where they belong in their timeline, and you got to continue with your timeline and figure your thing out. Because no matter what, they got to go. They can't stay here. Sorry, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. But that was that. That was that. So I didn't like that part of the storyline, but it worked. It did its thing, served
Because
its
it
purpose.
helped. I think it helped shine a light on that that a lot of these villains, I mean, I don't care if we talking about Red Skull. Red Skull suffered from mental illness. You know what I'm saying? He did.
Yeah.
He would have never did all the stuff he did. Nah, Ultron, he's a robot, so he
Yeah.
but
He decided to be bad.
Bucky didn't suffer from mental illness, but in a way.
Yeah,
You
with
know
the
what I'm saying?
being brainwashed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like in a sense, Killmonger was brainwashed in a way, but not with outside beliefs, with his own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thing is, the sucky part about Aunt May in this film is Aunt May helped people like that. So Aunt May convinced him to continue to try to help these people because Willem Dafoe's character came to her.
Right.
And he was all messed up, because he is messed up. He suffers from multiple
She did the same thing had it been Jamie Foxx though.
Now there is one issue that I had with this movie.
What was that?
Jamie Foxx. I did not like how he played that character. In contrast to how his character was prior. You got to make it make sense, bro.
So that right there, it was the problem of you got Jamie Foxx of what was that, 2012 or what year was that movie came out?
I don't know, but I
was Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man 2, right? Of 2014. So you got 2014 Jamie Foxx versus 2020 Jamie Foxx. Two totally different, actors, two totally different styles, two totally different kind of.
I didn't even like his voice. I didn't like the way he did his voice. I'm like, you're not even taking anything. And maybe they told him not to. Maybe he told him he wasn't. But I feel like for the fans, us knowing you from that film, I feel like everybody else played their character like they played it, whether the film was good or bad.
Exactly.
They played their characters the way that we could recognize. He's the only character I couldn't even recognize.
Right.
He was a whole new character.
He was a whole new character. His remember his suit was more comic book accurate in this movie versus whatever the heck that was they put on him in the last movie, in the 2014 movie. But I think too, they tried to explain that by the fact of this is a whole new type of power he was able to consume when he came into this universe. It was a whole different type of environment, and that's affecting the way he is and how his composition is and that kind of thing. So I let them explain that away in that way, because it will be different, right? We already do recognize our Spider-Man, our Tom Holland Spider-Man is way more powerful than these other Spider-Man. The time they live in, there's other superheroes, there's other things going on. They don't have that in their universes. So, maybe it's just, he took on the form of what he would have been had he been here. Or what I think they really should have did is I think they really should have tried to explain that he was not our Electro from that universe, from Andrew Garfield's, but from a different universe that maybe had a different Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Maybe he would have saw Andrew Garfield and be like, I don't know you either. You know what I mean? Right. Something like that.
Right. But I'm to the understanding that when they were brought over, they were literally in the last place that we saw them in their films being killed. So why would his character be that much different from what we saw prior?
True. Yeah, no, true that. I agree.
And he played it wrong. I don't care about the costume. I don't care about the color. He played it wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're literally coming from where you were to where you are now, from being killed from where we saw you last. Why would you talk like that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Since we started talking, I said, if it's one character I don't resonate with in this film, it's Jamie Foxx, and I'm not even gonna pay no attention to him no more. And I didn't. I didn't pay no attention to nothing he had to say. I didn't pay no attention. Every line he said was a throwaway line to me. Literally every line he said was a throwaway line. Right. But his character meant nothing to me.
Yeah, I mean, hold on, I'm about to bring up this image that shows like a side by side of. Yeah, here it is. This is exactly what we're talking about here in terms of. So it's like And I wish I could play something like a video or a clip of the way, like you said, the way they talk, the way they act. It's definitely two different people. Yeah.
Two different people. Everybody else you could see, okay, here comes Jamie Foxx. Yeah, what up, nigga? Like, that's how he was. Like, you were a nice janitor dude before this happened to you, who was very confused about his powers and started to build up the confidence while you were fighting, but you never had a chance to grow into that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even as a super villain, you never had an opportunity. He killed you like soon as you got the powers, man. So I don't understand how now you jump into this world. And I mean, yeah, the energy, fine, but the vocal patterns, the confidence, all of that. I mean, you just swooped on over here. I don't know how that could happen. All over
in 12 minutes.
Yeah, like, I don't understand that, but it's cool, you know, whatever. I chalk that up to whatever. I chalk that up to the choice that the actor wanted to make, and I didn't like it, so I just disconnected from his character.
That's all. I mean, I'm pretty sure what it was Jamie Foxx was like, you know what? I'm not about to play that nerdy, weird dude that I played in 2014. It's not happening. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna be my own guy.
And they let him because he's Jamie Foxx.
Right. And yeah, I must say they let him because he's Jamie Foxx, definitely.
I did not like the way he played that character. Yeah. It was shameful. Because I feel like he could have did more with it. Of all the characters to me, of the villains, he was the most throwaway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like he brought anything to the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they gave him, they gave him more time, they gave him more screen time, they gave him more importance. You know, the Lizard really didn't have a lot of screen time. Sandman, he really only had that one part at the beginning, and then he had that one part at the very end. So they really, didn't give him a lot of time. I mean, it was the top three, right? It was Doc Ock, it was Electro, and it was, the Green Goblin got all the screen time, and the Green Goblin was the one that like really stole the show, when it came down to it. Because Doc Ock, with the exception of that little bit of throwing Spider-Man around and tossing cars, he really didn't do much either,
But I think he didn't do much, but his character let us understand how he could have been saved.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And that was significant for the audience, because at that point we were all saying, man, he shouldn't be helping these people.
Yeah, let him go.
Helping them. And even though we knew that it wasn't gonna go well, we saw the shift in Willem Dafoe when his back was turned. We knew that something was about to happen to Aunt May, because it's like Gandalf. I mean, it's like Dumbledore and Half-Blood Prince. Oh, now we getting all the screen time from him. Right. Okay, he about to die. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we know something bad is about to happen. Right. But we understand that these villains are not just villains because they're just villainous. Mm-hmm. There is something else there, and they kind of do need help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, indeed. Yep, indeed. So yeah. So yeah, finally, let's talk about those end battles. They went through. He saved Doc Ock just before Electro was about to be saved. Green Goblin made his change, and he got the spider sense kicked off. He realized what was happening, and then it was popping. It was on and popping, right? Mm-hmm. Between before that, let's talk about the reveal, right? The big reveal, even though, because if you were anywhere on the internet for the 6 months before the movie came out, we knew that this was about to happen. We just didn't know when in the movie was going to happen. The big reveal of the other Spider-Man, right? I was, trying my best not to pay attention to all the talk about, Toby and Andrew coming back. But because I knew it was supposed to happen, but it was still a nice little surprise of when they came back, right? Of seeing them.
We needed it. If that wouldn't have happened, I'd have just cried myself to death. I would have just cried myself to death. I did that because I was at that point. I was balling.
Yeah,
I was balling.
I definitely enjoyed watching them come into the movie the way they did, and and how hilarious it was watching Toby and Andrew kind of play off each other, and in the grandmother's living room or dining room. The whole interaction of them trying to figure out what's next, and then their interactions with Tom Holland and being able to have this brotherhood, this Spider-Man brotherhood, which I thought was dope, because each of them have lost a lot of people in their lives. They didn't have siblings. None of them have siblings. None of them have people they can relate to, like literally relate to. Besides, Tom Holland had the Avengers, but as a Spider-Man, he didn't have anybody to relate to. And, having that kind of camaraderie, I thought was huge.
Yeah, and they probably the only people that remember him.
Yeah.
He said all the people in this universe not gonna remember him.
Right.
And so them the only people that remember him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that I would like to say, I know I talked about a little bit, but this is the first Spider-Man movie. Now, in the other movies, he's getting his ass whooped. But this was the first time I saw him fighting for his life. Like when he was fighting Willem Dafoe, he was fighting for his life. And I think they did a good job of changing how he fights in those fight scenes to express the sense of urgency, because this is the first time that he brought he brought this to his life. He brought this on himself. He introduced these people to his friends. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't no, oh, I'm a Michael Keaton and I'm doing bad stuff and we just so happen to know each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't no, oh, I'm in another country and some shit just pop off. This is some shit that I brought on myself, that I brought into my own home or the place that I'm staying, that I done connected to everybody that I love and care about. Right. And if I don't stop this man, he gonna kill and harm not only people that I love and care about, but people in this world. And he trying to kill me.
Right. Right.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Because he was whooping his ass.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was like, I'm like, what was it about Willem Dafoe's character that was supposed to be that strong? Like, how? Like, he was.
I mean, but we ain't never seen them fight hand to hand,
right?
In the other Spider-Man movie, so we don't know how strong. But I mean, I'm gonna tell you one thing I know from the Spider-Man cartoon. I can't stand Green Goblin. He rude, he disrespectful, he be killing everybody. He don't care. Right. So I ain't never seen him fight him, but I done seen him fly and just kill everything and everybody. He don't care. He like the Joker. He don't care.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And it is very stressful when he comes into a room and he is the Green Goblin, because somebody is gonna die. Exactly. You know it.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna be no.
But he was throwing that man through the floor and throwing him out of buildings and tossing him around like a bro, like you.
Body slammed him through the floor.
Right.
I was just like,
I was like, ain't he supposed to just be a man? Like, I don't understand.
Jesus.
And Spider-Man beating the crap out of him.
That one scene where he was on him and he was just pow, 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 pow. I was like,
and he's just smiling at him. Smiling at him.
I was like, oh my God. And I just, as soon as Aunt May took them damn serum things, I said, oh my God, she about to die.
Right.
Because they giving her too much screen time. I have been worried about her death for all the movies, but every time they be like, not today, not today. And I'll be like, whoo, thank God, because I love Marissa Tomei. And she needs this Marvel money too.
Right, exactly.
And I just like, oh, she lived.
All right, so I just looked it up. The Goblin Serum produces the same physical results of those of Spider-Man's ability in both strength and speed.
Oh wow!
So that's why he was able to wreck him like that. But I guess that makes sense, because basically the Goblin Serum is what's in Spider-Man's body.
Yeah,
like it's basically a type of Goblin Serum. It just wasn't the same one that he ends up getting, because it goes through the spider's metabolism and then comes out in the spider bite. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, they gave her too much screen time though. it just, I just recently watched the Harry Potters, and it just reminded me of like when Dumbledore died. I was like, this the most we done seen him do anything. He about to die. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
this the most
right.
we done seen her. Usually Spider-Man whisks her away, and then he come back all busted up. Be like, oh, are you okay? I'm like,
Right.
oh, he didn't whisk her ass away this time. She out of here. But I didn't know she was gonna go
I
out of
wasn't
here like that.
ready. I wasn't. I didn't detect that. I wasn't ready. I was not ready. When she left with the little things, I was like, okay, well, she's good now. She's good. He's gonna fight Green Goblin. We're gonna see that go down. And then, so I was thinking like, oh, no big deal. And then all of a sudden she was in the way again. I'm like, oh shoot, big deal again.
Yeah, I knew she was gone. As soon as she picked up that bag, I said, okay, all right. But then they tricked me in a sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, no, she got a jab stab on her stomach. She gonna be bleeding on the stomach. I was like, I was like, she is bleeding. I know she is. This happens all the time. She has a deep gash and she is bleeding out, and she don't want this boy to know. And I'm like, well, no, she didn't got up. She stood up.
I know. As soon as she stood up, I was like, oh, she's okay. He's gonna get her the help. She's gonna be all right. And
I was
then
like,
all
maybe
of a sudden,
she don't have a deep gash. Maybe she don't. And then when she fell and he touched her side and she had the blood, I said, oh no. Man. And when she said, with great power comes great responsibility, I said, why she
when she said that, I was like, oh, she's about to die.
Why she say that? What she say that for? I was like, why she say that? No. Oh, no.
As soon as she said it, it was before she said it. It was the look she gave him. I was like, oh my God, I think she's about to say. And then she said it, and I was like, oh shoot, it's over. It is literally over. Like it's no ways for her to say this unless she about to die. Like, this is crazy.
It's so good at that looking over you crying shit to the point where it don't even make no sense. I started getting trauma, having I was triggered about when Tony Stark died, because he just, Mr. Stark is okay. Like, and he just over her looking at her. He's just crying, and it's just too goddamn much. And now I'm crying, and everybody looking at me like I'm crazy because I was bawling.
Oh my God, yeah. Talk about tears streaming out of your eyes. It's just like, what the heck? Like, I was like not ready. I was so not ready for that to happen. I was not ready. I mean, I was mad at her for bringing Tom Holland to do this, but I was not that mad at her that she needed to die. Like,
no, I just kept saying, "Man, it's all your fault." I was like, "It's all your fault," and it went from worse to worser.
Worser. Why did I have to go to the worstest? Had to go to the worstest. It was like, oh my God.
Got Jay Jameson out here. Got the FBI and the CIA and the DEA and the cops and all of them out there. And then they shot Spider-Man. I'm just like, oh,
I know. And now they're shooting Spider-Man. I'm like, what is really going on? You got a dead woman on the ground. Go help her.
Now he got to leave her there. I'm like, oh, this is too damn much. And I cried.
Yeah.
I cried. And I was like, oh my God. I was just like I am right now.
Right.
I was like, Lord, oh, this is too damn much.
It's too much.
And then good things happened. But that was only short-lived, because I was crying again in the next scene after after Andrew Garfield and Toby came, because they met up with him. Mm-hmm. And all his friends came, and he was just falling on top of the roof. And then, they started telling little stories, and then Andrew Garfield started talking about Gwen Stacy, and I started crying again because
man. Terrible.
This is just too damn much.
I know, when they both started telling their Uncle Ben story, and they were like, "With great power comes," they was all looking at each other like, "He told me that too." And then, like you said, the Gwen Stacy incident.
How did you know she said that?
Right. Like crazy.
That was a stressful little piece.
It was. That's really when I was like, that it's a curse of being Spider-Man.
Yes.
Really the curse of being Spider-Man.
Yes. The nicest guys. You got Batman out here still trying to get vengeance, and he just rich. And then you got little nice, kind, optimistic Spider-Man, and don't nobody even know his damn real name.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, good people always get it the worst.
So all the three Spider-Mans get together. They get it all together. They go and they figure out how to get the rest of the serums together, and then they head to the Statue of Liberty with the Captain America shield on it.
I ain't gonna say nothing about it.
So, we see the final battle happen between them and the remaining Sinister Six or Sinister Five, because there's only 5 of them. Which I was like, actually, I guess there's 6 because Venom's around here somewhere. He's just not around.
Right.
But yeah, so they I like the initial thing of showing them not being able to figure it out at first because they had never been a part of a team besides Tom Holland, but the 3 of them hadn't been a team
I love
before.
that scene.
Yeah.
Like, guys, actually, I was Avenger, and he was like, "Oh, that's so nice." And then Andrew was like, "What? Is that a rock band?
Is that a band? Right? You were part of a band?"
I just love how Toby was just like, "Wow, man, that's so great. What's that?"
Exactly. That was hilarious because I thought he was like, "Okay, cool. Like, I know the Avengers. Yeah. Like, no, bro, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about."
He's like a superhero team. You're like, nah, we don't have that where we come from. Like, it's either you or nobody.
We out here struggle busting, baby.
Exactly. So once they've kind of figured out, like, we got to work as a team, we got to get this together. Even though it's kind of stupid that they figured it all out right there in 12 seconds, but whatever.
They're also geniuses.
Exactly. They are also geniuses, yeah.
And superheroes.
Right. So and I think it was literally about the whole situation of we need to know who's doing what and who's focusing where, as well as be able to know who, when we call out for number 3, number 2, number 1, who we talking about versus that back and forth. Peter this, Peter that. We're all Peter, that kind of thing.
That was
who's
funny.
On first,
1, 2, 3 thing was funny too.
Yeah, that was because I just knew they were going to make it. Toby would be number 1, then Andrew, then Tom, but they flipped it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they finally figured that out. They worked as a team. Ned and MJ showed up as well, even though Ned couldn't close the portal. By accident, right?
Because the crocodile was chasing them.
Yeah, exactly. Because he couldn't close the portal once they got the portal open. And then, that led to our next traumatizing scene, which is where Zendaya gets knocked off of the tower. Tom can't get to her. And then here comes Andrew, the redeemed himself. Which was dope. It was dope. It was a redeeming, situation. He was able to, kind of relive that moment for himself and get over that for himself, which, I think that was beautiful. It was a beautiful scene. It was a very, my anxiety was up on high. I never have anxiety about it.
I was just like, now, if y'all could have killed Zendaya, I'm just going to walk the hell out this damn theater, okay?
Exactly. Exactly. I thought that was about to go down too. I was like, oh shoot, like what the heck? And then to see Andrew jump out there, that's when it hit me real quick, like, oh, they're about to give him his redeeming scene. So
at some point, you just get to that point where you're like, okay, because that's how we was when we see Scream the other night. It was just like, if this person die, we leaving. We leaving. It's done. We gonna flip the movie theater over because I can't handle that. I can't.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, so they did great there. The final battle of Tom versus Green Goblin, that was pretty dope. It was scary watching him kind of almost just go overboard.
Because he not like that.
Yeah. But it was his thing. It was like you just lost your aunt. It just reminded me of Toby all over again. His situation once he just lost Uncle Ben. Yeah, and he went on that rampage, like and
he killed a guy.
Yeah, so it just kind of reminded me of that.
But I thought it was beautiful that throughout everything that Toby lost by the hands of Green Goblin, it was going to be him to stop him.
Yeah,
but I just thought it was beautiful that he has moved on and moved past that in his life, understand the value of that man's life, and it's in a way. a redemption for him to be able to help this man at this point instead of having to kill him, because
Exactly.
that was somebody that he was close to. That
Exactly. He was close to you.
father
He
figure to
respected.
him.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And so in many ways, this is mending relationships in their world. Like Jamie Foxx and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was the only one that acknowledged that man, was the only one that told him thank you, was the only one that appreciated him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's really even the guy, the sand guy, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
even though his character wasn't as prevalent, I just remember his story from, even though that movie was not great, his story being so sad from Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
then bringing him over into this world and still understanding the importance of what his values were, and them being able to help him go back to his daughter and finally having a normal life, which will probably set him off the path of crime that he was
Exactly.
on before he had that accident. Now
Right.
that crocodile man, I don't think it's no saving him.
Yeah. No. Right. Right.
Jamie Foxx either.
He probably mad. He probably mad they changed him back.
Jamie Foxx either. I think you can tame him, but he'll never be the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was a man who was marginalized his whole life in many ways, not just by being a black man, but he was marginalized too many times that now his alter ego has taken over. And you can tame that, but you cannot control it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So I think in the end we ended up with all these, this mishmash of heartwarming save stories, but also some stories of people who just aren't going to be the same, and they aren't savable, right?
Oh yeah, because Doc Ock and Peter and Toby's scene was nice too when he turned on them because he thought that they was with them. Exactly. And he was just like, "Hey, boy, how you been?
Right,
feeling great, feeling good. Good times in life."
Right, and then Doctor Strange had to deal with the rips and the.
Oh yeah, that's when it really gets bad.
Yeah, multiverse, and so they had to make that final decision of what we're gonna do, and Tom decided, you know what, get rid of Peter Parker.
Yeah, but did you hear how Doctor Strange got choked up when he told him?
Like,
and I was just like, y'all just made it seem like everything was gonna be okay, and then here y'all go with some more bullshit.
I know, right? I know, right?
Yeah, I'm crying again.
I know, having to watch him go tell his friends goodbye and then telling Zendaya that he'll come find her. It was just like, it was so much emotion. It was so much.
It really was. And then the sun is all beaming and gleaming, and damn, Captain America Statue of Liberty then got towed up, rightfully so, because no.
So we finally get our final scenes of him coming to the donut shop and talking to Zendaya or to MJ I don't think he talked to Ned.
He didn't talk to Ned. This is why he gonna be a bad guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be the hobgoblin.
Now you gonna go for the girl, and that was your homie.
Right, exactly. So yeah, but he made the decision not to tell her, not to try to pull it out of her, and just kept it moving.
It was crying again.
Yeah, exactly. And then we saw him change his suit. He changed his suit one more time. He's now, in a cloth suit again. Got some pieces from the other two Spider-Man inspiration. The colors and the emblem, and then got rid of the nano suit. So he's your favorite. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man again, or now for the first time,
Yeah, and you see the Christmas tree that Hawkeye and Kate knocked down.
Exactly. So yeah, and what we also have to deduce is the fact that this is all happening around the time when the Eternals are stopping Tiamat from being emerged out of the South Pacific Sea. So all this is happening at the same time. Doctor Strange in the final scene, in the final post-credit scene, shows a preview of his next movie where he has to deal with the repercussions of all of the multiversal rips that he caused and what that means for the universe. The mid-credit scene is when we get to see Venom finally. Venom and Eddie Brock. Eddie is at the bar, and then they finally figure out what's going on with Spider-Man. And just as they figure it out, boom!
It's like, oh,
and they're sent off.
Now it makes sense why there would be an evil Venom, because he left a little piece of him.
He left a little piece behind, yeah. So
because I was I feel like they would be friends.
Yeah, right, exactly. You would think so. You would think so. And I think they planned on that, but then all of a sudden it was a wrap. They were taken out, and then the piece of Venom left behind was still alive, and we're gonna see what happens with that in the future episode of or future installment of
Venom is gonna beat his butt.
exactly. Well, and that's the question. It's like, will this version of Venom be like the last piece of Venom that got away in Venom Part 2, which was what was it, a red Venom? And that was that junk was ridiculous, at that turn Woody Harrelson's character into red Venom. That was crazy.
Because I think when he crazy.
Yeah, he was crazy already.
He kind of mixed up and created this. Yeah. That both was crazy. That lady from what you call it? I can't even think of what I know her from right now, but the black lady who played his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
she played that, and I mean, what I saw,
she played the heck out of that part.
What I saw her in was just like a normal show. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I had to look her up because it got to a point she was playing the character so good. I got annoyed. I was like, "Who is this lady?" Because she is getting on my damn nerves.
Yeah, she
played the hell. They both played the hell out of that character.
Oh yeah, they did. That movie. I thought that movie was quite good compared to what I expected. I didn't expect it to be that good.
I didn't expect it either. It was better than I thought it would be.
What was it? Morbius. The Morbius trailer. The latest Morbius trailer has a kind of a special announcement from the guy who's playing Dr. Morbius, talking about the fact that they're going to be crossing over Morbius and Spider-Man. Well, some Spider-Man, we don't know which one.
Jared Leto said that.
Huh?
Jared Leto said that.
Yep, he said it.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he talked about the fact that this universe, that his Dr. Morbius is going to be in a bigger universe than we probably expected. Making reference to the fact that he may run into Spider-Man. He may even run into Venom. So we'll see what happens when it comes out.
Well, based off the color style of that movie, I would have to say that it would be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, if anything.
I think so too. And right now, there's a lot of rumor going around that we may be seeing more Andrew and Toby coming.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew be lying, baby.
Yeah, exactly. He's real good at lying.
Because he had a lot of movies come out this year that got a lot of critical acclaim. Being Tammy Faye in that TikTok Boom movie, he won a Golden Globe for that one last weekend. But so Toby been kind of cool because he ain't doing nothing right now, right. So he ain't had to do no press. But Andrew Garfield has had to do so much press in the last 6 months because of the movies that he's been promoting. And I mean, he just been flat out lying. Like he lied to Emma Stone. Like he been flat out just plain face lying to people.
Right.
Like Emma Stone said she went to just go see the movie, and she texted him and was like, "You are a fucking douche." Like,
what they expect though? If you got to sign that dotted line with MCU, you be lying too.
Right.
Be lying my ass off.
Right.
I ain't about to risk that. So we're gonna see. So we definitely anticipate seeing some more Spider-Men in the near future, as well as the upcoming Into the Spider-Verse Part 2. Where we're gonna see the return of Miles Morales. Like you said, Scream 2 is out. Scream 5 is out. So we got that to look forward to if you haven't watched that yet. There's another movie that just came out that I want to see. and I meant to have it up and ready. Movies.
I want to see
Uh,
Nightmare Alley, but they didn't have enough showings for me, so I'm just have to wait till it come out on
what was that?
VOD. Nightmare Alley. It came out the day Spider-Man came out.
Oh,
Guillermo del Toro directed it. Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, Willem Dafoe, and Toni Collette.
oh, okay, got you. So yeah, so the new Doctor Strange is going to be dropping soon. Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out this year. Spider-Man, not Spider-Man. Morbius is coming out soon this year as well. Tom Holland, we're going to see Tom Holland again in Uncharted.
I think that movie wrecked him, man. Looking at him do them stunts. I mean, because I
Yeah.
watched somebody play that game, but looking at what he's doing physically with his body, I feel like it's more than what he was doing for Spider-Man because he's just a man.
Right, exactly. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Oh yeah,
looking forward to that.
Oh, they finally put that on HBO, so I'm gonna watch both of them.
Oh, they put the original too.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been
and that reunion was so good.
Who?
The Harry Potter reunion.
I didn't watch it yet. I do. I need to watch that too. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. I was crying on that too.
I was crying on the preview. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe them babies don't grew up.
Yeah, I was crying.
Oh, the Batman that'll be out this year. I believe Lightyear is coming out this year on the Buzz Lightyear origin story. The list I'm looking at says Black Adam, but I don't think Black Adam's coming out this year. Top Gun Maverick is coming out this year, and Mission Impossible 7.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so
you sure?
So yeah, he's got 2 movies coming out. Tom Cruise.
We'll see.
Right.
That movie's supposed to come out 18 years ago.
Yeah, the 355 that'll be out soon.
Ooh.
The 355.
It came out it comes out this weekend, I think.
Okay. Which I thought it came out last year, but how everything else was pushed back.
I mean, you'll be surprised, man. You'll see a trailer that first premiere and then they replaying it now. You'll be like, I thought that came out. And it's still got Death on the Nile comes out.
Yeah, Death on the Nile. Yep. So yeah, it's got a lot of good movies coming soon.
Did you see the Night Moon trailer and the man who gonna be in Night Moon and died in a ski accident too?
Wait, what?
Not the main guy, but he's supposed to be playing. Let me see. Let me look it up. He's supposed to be playing. Where is it? Anton Margart, Midnight Man in the Moon Knight show. He died today.
Oh my God!
Accident.
He just died yesterday.
Yeah, he died today.
That's crazy.
And the trailer just dropped like yesterday or the day before that.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how prevalent or big his role is in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. We'll find out soon. We'll do new episodes of that once it comes out, once it drops. I believe it's supposed to drop in
February 23rd, I think.
Yeah, February 23rd.
And I don't know what that show about. It looked like it's gonna be a little scary. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Moon Knight is part of the Midnight Sun, so it should.
So this gonna have something to do with Kit
Blade. Yeah, Kit Harington's character, the Black Knight, Blade, Moon Knight, all those, and Ghost Rider are all part of the same team. So
okay, so it's gonna be a little scary.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know if this one's gonna be as mysterious and scary as like a Blade would end up being, but it should be up there.
That trailer definitely was serving me a little bit scary.
Yeah. So we're gonna see. I mean, what's the name? It's supposed to be our first real horror movie.
Multiverse
of Madness. Yeah, so we're gonna see what that means. Actually, they drop around the same time, right? So
I think it's gonna be really quirky.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's Sam Raimi directing it, so like even the way Doctor Strange was playing Doctor Strange or Strange Supreme, like it's gonna get a little messy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, That could be for the trailer because he did weird things with his voice in the trailer for Spider-Man No Way From Home. And then when I watched the movie, I was like, he was acting like not himself in the trailer, but now he acting like himself. So, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. Right.
So who knows? I'm not about to gauge nothing from these trailers because they be making these trailers just for us to be like, he ain't say none of that in the trailer.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true too. That is very true.
Deduce this movie from the damn trailer. I'm just gonna watch it. But somebody did say that they thought that they saw a TVA door behind Scarlet Witch in a trailer.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
On the end credit scene.
Yeah, the trailer. I don't know if it's the trailer from the end credit scene because that one was better than the trailer that they put out.
Exactly. Yeah. The
so
end credit
scene
trailer had much more content in it.
Yeah. I don't know if it was in that one or if it was in the one that they showed, but I mean, they went copying, recording the damn one from the movie theater and rewatching it. So, but no, somebody took a picture and they was like, I think this is a TVA door behind her.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I don't know. And they saying her hands turning black at the tips. Somebody said that too in the trailer. So
got it. Oh, okay. I see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I think it's a reach, but I'm like,
here, let me pull it up on the screen. It's kind of a reach. It really literally could be anything. Like it could literally be anything.
But my thing is, where are we in the timeline? But that do look like a damn door.
It looks like a door, but does that have to be a TVA door? Like,
I mean, it could just be a door.
It could just be a door, right?
It could be the door to her cabin.
It could be anybody's door, right? It could be the door to her cabin, to her back room.
The door to her cabin, and she heard some noise outside, and she was going outside to check it.
Right, exactly.
That's what
exactly. So we won't know until the movie.
I don't even know how the TVA would fit in. What are they going to do?
I mean, the whole TVA thing is going to be weird how that works out later. You know what I mean?
I think they're going to say that for Loki. Yeah, why would you put the TVA in this movie if you're going to do a Loki season 2?
Right, exactly. It makes no sense.
Unless it's an end credit scene.
All right, yeah. They can do that.
Seeing the timeline being whatever based off what they've done. You know what I'm saying? But obviously whatever they're doing is supposed to happen per the TVA. So it's
yeah, that's a good point because I mean his movie is supposed to set that off, right? His movie is supposed to set off this whole multiversal war, and now they're already talking about Avengers 5 being the Secret Wars, between all the different multiverses. So we definitely can see the beginnings of what's going to happen, as things progress. We still got Quantumania we're working up to, which is when Kang the Conqueror really should wear his head, even though we've already seen Kang the Conqueror in Loki, the TV series, right? So we'll definitely see how that all progresses, or if he just keeps showing up in all the different products after Doctor Strange, that which is quite possible. So you never know.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we shall see.
We will see. Well, we're gonna call it a night. Great show as usual. Thank you everyone who was in the comments as well as our viewers. Thank you for joining us. We will definitely be back when Moon Knight starts, which now I'm getting conflicted information because I thought I saw end of February. Now I'm sending end of March. So I don't know.
Let me check unless they change the date.
Everything keeps changing constantly. And they pushed that. Like I just made a mistake and thought and made the wrong comment about Doctor Strange being in February, but it's no longer in February now. It's pushed back to May. So
that too?
Yeah, that got pushed back to May.
Oh no, this is terrible. Damn! It says March 30th on Disney.
Yeah, March 30th, and then May 4th for Multiversal Madness.
But see, it's the damn Omarion.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Which is crazy because some of this stuff is already done. So
yeah. Yeah, but I mean they just got done doing reshoots on Multiverse, so
Got you. Okay. Well, there's that. There's
That's
that.
not done for sure.
Yeah. Which is and I just saw they finally made the announcement that Black Panther is back on shooting schedule
Yeah,
again. They got Letitia back on the set and everything, so we'll see how that works out. Which I'm happy because, I mean that all that was so much up in the air, all the back and forth about
I just
her
feel
and her
so bad.
role. Hmm.
I feel so bad for them people because every day they go to set, they still grieving, and it's just being prolonged and prolonged and prolonged and prolonged for so. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, are we ever going? I just hope that the work and the quality is still up to par because it's kind of torturous when you got to do something like that and it keeps getting stopped and it keeps getting prolonged and you still have to deal with the loss of such an important person and
Right.
character to the story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
Indeed.
just a lot to be dealing with. On top
Yeah.
of that, every day you got to go to that set, you're reminded of the loss of that person, and then it's just, oh, so now we got to be off for 3 weeks, and then I got to come back
Yeah.
and we got to do this all. So I just hope that Ryan Coogler is, still
I think it's gonna be. I think it's still gonna be an amazing movie. I think it's still gonna ring true. It just like you said. I think it is. It's a bit tragic that they have to be like that, right?
yeah.
That's the way it has to go. But I think they're gonna do a good job on it. The the bottom line of it is I think we're seeing still good product coming out of MCU, still seeing good movies. I don't think they want to risk, blowing that, right?
No, they can't. They cannot
Yeah,
blow that for
yeah, that
him, for his
exactly.
legacy, and also for the franchise and what it did for people. It's
Exactly.
a lot of weight, but that's what I'm saying. That's a lot to carry.
It
That's
is.
a lot to carry. So I hope that they all, you know, okay. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
mentally
saying?
there,
Yeah.
psychologically there. Yeah, I feel you.
Because that's a
Emotionally
lot to
there.
carry. That's a lot
Yeah,
to carry.
exactly.
You're
Exactly.
trying to live up to him. You're trying to live up to the fans. You're trying to live up to the MCU. You dealing
Hmm.
with this loss. And I mean, I'm sure these people have lost other people. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
a lot to carry. And
Yeah.
then have to keep starting and stopping, and then you have to come back into that. We've been
Right.
off for a month, and now I gotta recalibrate. I was getting used to going. I was getting comfortable. I was fine. You know what I'm saying? But now I gotta. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All this weight is back.
Indeed. Indeed. I feel you. I feel you. So yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you all again. This has been the Styles and Chevy recap. We're usually here on Wednesday nights at 9 when we do Marvel TV shows or movies. Matter of fact, I believe Sunday probably wants to do Eternals with me, so we may pull it back out before the Moon Knight comes out. Might do another. It'll probably be under the Styles Takeover moniker. Get at me on Gaming with Styles. I really need to change this. It's not really every Thursday or every other Thursday. It's just whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
I just did 2 games the end of last week, so make sure you go check out those replays. I'll be doing some more gaming this week. Friday, make sure you guys check out Sunny. She'll be here on Friday at 6 p.m. with the Sex with Sunny live show. She'll be talking about the effects of sexual abuse on people's sexual attitudes in their sex lives. So make sure y'all come back for that. Fans Perspective every Sunday or every other Sunday at 10 p.m. Make sure you guys come back for that as well. I know the guys are going to be wanting to talk about the Super Bowl run that's coming up. So hopefully we'll have them on either this Sunday or the following Sunday talking about football as well as other sports as well. As always, we're here on Mondays, 10 p.m. For the GFT radio show, as well as on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. with the How to Hustle podcast with our boy Hype. So make sure y'all get with him on that show as well. Chevy, tell the folks where they can find you at.
You can find me as Chevy the Superstar on Twitch. Tomorrow we will be reviewing the film Being the Ricardos, starring Nicole Kidman. We will be reviewing it at 8 p.m. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter as the Superstar. Hit me up on Twitter if you got some information on some NFTs.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, it's your boy Willie Styles. I'm in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Gaming with Styles is where you'll find me. Gamingwithstyles.com. Visit me over at stylesradio.com. If you've tried the last couple of days, apparently it's been down and I did not know. So hit me up over at stylesradio.com. It is back up and running. And williestyles.info for all my links. And thanks again for checking us out. Sunny said she'll be tuning in. Because she wanted to watch that. Yeah, I definitely want to watch that movie too.
It's really good. I enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love Lucy, and I've seen some of her other not TV shows, but movies and stuff like that, and appearances. So I definitely, when I saw that was dropped, I was like, okay, that should be interesting.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman won a Golden Globe for it. So I mean.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing that. All right. Well, thanks again, Chevy. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good night. See y'all in a minute.